my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selina, I'm from Tauvenga-Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news, new school excites 200 students. PM briefed on New Zealand Navy vessel surveillance works. And lack of fund hinders sugar production.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spade.
Around 200 students of Vunikavi Kaloa Area School in Nalawara will once again have proper facilities for studying. The school, which was damaged during Tropical Cyclone Winston last year, has been rebuilt by the New Zealand Red Cross.
These students from the 3 villages in the Nalawa district and nearby settlements have all the reasons to smile.
We are in our tent. We feel like too hot. We are staying in the tent. Like it disturbs us because of the hot season.
But that it has the good classroom. It is new and it's also very good.
This will be a thing of the past for the students of Vunikavika Area Primary School here at Nalawa in Ra. They've been using this tent for more than a year. The New Zealand Red Cross, in partnership with its Fiji counterparts, has spent over $500,000 to rebuild the 8 classrooms and 4 teachers' quarters.
When the Fiji government announced its Adopt the School program, with Fiji Red Cross, we at New Zealand Red Cross saw an opportunity to make a tangible difference. Not just to this school and its pupils, but to the whole community.
President Major General retired Chochi Konrote says our future leaders can now be groomed in normal environment.
Schools also have new desks, chairs, blackboards and notice boards, including library books, all donated from the Rotary clubs both locally and overseas. On behalf of all of us, we would like to say thank you and a big reminder.
Schools were designed using the internationally recognized comprehensive Safe School framework. Sabara Tambua, FBC News.
Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama and New Zealand's Foreign Affairs Minister Jerry Brownlee toured the visiting Kiwi Navy vessel HMNZS Haue in Suva today. Bainimarama was briefed about the work carried out by New Zealand naval officers since their arrival last month. Akosita Tale was with the tour and files this report.
The crew of HMNZS Hawaii will help patrol Fiji's exclusive economic zone over the next 6 months. During their first month stint, they've worked with the Fijian Navy, Fisheries Ministry, Customs and New Zealand's Ministry for Primary Industries.
And now we've completed 1 week of patrolling around predominantly the Lau Island group and out towards the east and also south around Kadavu Island. So we've undertaken 16 boardings of both yachts and also commercial fishermen, and there's a relatively good level of compliance.
Lieutenant Blair says the patrol aims to support effective fisheries management and contribute to the enhancement of maritime surveillance in the Pacific.
We've got a lot to learn about things like reef navigation, how to deploy an inshore patrol vessel in a offshore context, and so we're getting a solid training base between the two of us. So last week we had 5 Fijian officers and sailors on board and undertook various different training evolutions throughout the week, so that there's quality opportunity there.
More patrols will be undertaken in the next few weeks, with the operation expected to end by October. Akosita Tale, FBC News.
In order to meet its production targets, the Sugar Ministry will have to look for ways to utilize the 28,000 hectares of land which is lying idle. The ministry has around 70,000 hectares of land around the country, but not all is being utilized for planting sugarcane. Rapate Valeme reports.
The Sugar Ministry officials appeared before the Public Accounts Committee this morning to clarify their accounts for 2014 and 2015. Outgoing Director William Ngudake says the lack of capital, machinery and trucks have hindered the cane farmers from fully utilizing their land.
As far as land for the industry, we believe we have sufficient land. I think the leases that we have, the area under cane is about 70,000 hectares, of which only 42,000 are under cane. So the balance that is where the challenge is.
Ngudake suggests one way to help farmers would be to give them some grants to start off their planting.
When you talk to farmers who have FGP with a loan, it's like a noose over your neck. You don't go, they want a grant to start off with. If you want to expand, you establish yourself, then you go to the bank, also can correspond.
The ministry has been warned to always balance the accounts.
If you miss that reconciliation, anybody using those monies for personal benefits, etc., abuse will not be caught.
For the $9 million grant that was released by government this year, Muthaki says $2 million was distributed in January, $4 million was released last month, while the remaining $3 million will be given out next month. Ropate Valime, FBC News.
The cane harvesting season kick-started in Lambasa today with farmers transporting their harvest to the mill. Eleanor Tarangaiviu caught up with a cane farmer in Nandongo, Maduata and files this report.
It took him only a week to prepare for the new harvesting season. Bikram Chand harvests between 400 and 500 tons of cane in a season with only 4 laborers.
One labor, he cut cane 100 ton. That's why I provide for only 4 laborers or 5 laborers to harvest my cane.
We are laborers and we are depending on the cane farm owners, since this is the only source of income we are getting to meet our everyday needs.
Last year, he harvested 420 tons of cane. He hopes to increase this season.
Total we get around about 22,000. Then the expense, then we got the profit round about to 14 to 12,000 case.
Chand told FBC News he is happy with the current cane price of $75 to $80 a ton, as government is already doing a lot for cane farmers. Other cane farmers in Lambasa want this to be increased to $100 a ton.
Government paid our subsidy $14 pay 1 bag, and government paid 1 acre to plow the land, planting the cane, everything. Subsidy FSC gives us $1,000 for 1 acre, and replanting the cane they give $600. This too much. And LCPA, fair trade, this year 2017 they give the knife, file, everything. Then what is the difficulty for us?
Chan hopes to have some of his cane ready for crushing when it starts tomorrow. The Attorney General Ayaz said Kayum is expected to tip the first load of cane to mark the opening of the crushing season. Eleanor Turangaiviu, FBC News.
The Fiji Revenue and Customs Authority will soon implement its VAT monitoring system project in supermarkets. The VMS software will be linked to the company's cash register to provide a real-time data to FERC on total sales and VAT collected. Chief Executive Viswanath Das says they have selected a vendor who will provide the software. Das says Fiji loses more than $250 million annually due to fraudulent practices by some businesses. Das says the VMS project will not only benefit the tax office, but will be of great assistance to the business communities as well. Still to come, new boats to enhance emergency operations. And suspended MP Ratu Iso Tikoda's judgment deferred. Details after the break.
Nimbula vinaka na yavangunga andi moala ranalika o tikongo na tao na singatoka ando talitaka na vakaronga ng Bula FM number 2 na sere.
Ya dora subuni kurna bili. Ibora ni batu karahan para binaranga. Do talitaki na vakaronga ng Bula FM number 2 na sere. Bula.
Bula FM number 2 na sere.
The National Disaster Management Office today received 4 amphibious boats worth over $1.7 million from the New Zealand government. The boats will not only assist emergency response teams during a disaster, but also equip the 4 divisions. Maggie Boyle reports.
These boats will have multiple uses that will help better the service delivery of the National Disaster Management Office.
There are plans to have this deployed to the 4 divisions, but then we will always have flexible
flexibility in terms of its deployment because these are strategic assets.
New Zealand's Foreign Minister Jerry Brownlee says the assistance is part of discussions he's had with Prime Minister Vrange Bainimarama on effective development aid.
The discussion we had was about how we make sure that any money that's coming out of New Zealand to assist Fiji in any particular way has a tangible benefit to it. Too often money like that sort of goes into a black hole, no one sees it, but things like this, it's very useful. We all have a problem internationally with the movement of drugs, particularly around the world, and to have an intercept capability here in the Pacific is very valuable to us and frankly to Australia as well as to Fiji.
Seroratsu says for now they have to ensure their personnel are trained on how to use these vessels.
We have a scheduled plan for its deployment and of course for the training as well. What will initially happen is the training because there are strict recommendations on its handling.
Over the next 2 years, the New Zealand government will pay for the maintenance of these boats, which are expected to have multiple uses, from border security to disaster response. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Suspended Member of Parliament Ratuiso Tikodha's judgment, which was to be heard this morning, has been deferred. Presiding Magistrate Makireta Moore was not available to deliver the judgment, and Tikodha also was not present in court. FICAC had charged Tikodha for corruption-related offences in 2015. It's alleged that Tikodha, upon being nominated by the SEDELPA as a candidate in 2014, failed to declare liability he incurred to the government during his tenure as Fiji's High Commissioner to Papua New Guinea. The judgment will now be heard on June 15th. One of 5 former Public Works Department employees appeared in court this morning on corruption-related charges. Asanatha Manuapa is alleged to have conspired together with Laisa Halafi, Vadiseva Langai, Amelia Vunise and Ana Langere to commit a felony with intent to defraud the Public Works Department. It is alleged they obtained over $10,000 as payments for the purchase orders that had already been paid by Kumar's Hardware Supplies. The 4 other accused are serving prisoners and were not present in court. The court has ordered the serving prisoners be in court when the trial resumes on June 26th. Tobacco use, according to the WHO, kills more than 7 million people every year and costs households and governments over $2.8 trillion through healthcare expenditure and lost productivity. The theme for today's World No Tobacco Day was focused on beating tobacco for health, prosperity, the environment and national development. WHO Director General Dr. Margaret Chan says we need to take robust tobacco control measures. These include banning marketing and advertising of tobacco, promoting plain packaging of tobacco products, raising excise taxes, and making indoor public places and workplaces smoke-free. Ahead in sports with Jamie, Fiji Amateur Boxing wants more women to take up the sport. But joining us next is Rachel with business.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Good evening, and coming up in business tonight. For Fiji footing as a regional trade hub further strengthened. And in Go in Fiji, government signs agreement to enhance rural services. Stay with us.
I'm another of Whenever I want to tune in to listen to great music, I always tune in to my favorite radio station, Gold FM, only the classic.
My name is Lita. We love listening to Gold FM here at the Fiji Hideaway Resort and Spa. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
We here at Tano Waterfront Lautoka love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Welcome back. The government has been working to transform Fiji into a dynamic, internationally competitive economy as the trade and investment hub of the Pacific. A number of improvements and reforms have been made to facilitate trade and also port efficiency.
The establishment of the China Navigation Company's branch in Fiji will give further boost to our economy. This was done after China Navigation acquired Swire Shipping.
The presence of China Navigation Company, which is the parent company of Swire Shipping, has really, by setting up here, contributed to enhancing Fiji's status as a regional hub for transportation and transshipment. Now, this also demonstrates that such an international the reputable company setting up in Fiji confidence in the Fijian economy.
Swire Shipping has been operating in Fiji for at least 60 years. Managing Director James Woodrow says this will give their businesses potential to grow further.
We're very much based on international shipping, so for us we're continually trying to improve the service we give our customers, so that's why we built 41 new ships. So these ships are as big as 200 meters long, and they can take 2,000 containers. So what that enables us to do is cost effectively transport goods into Fiji and also to take exports out of Fiji.
Woodrow says they need to look after their customers and provide a great service. This means help businesses in Fiji be profitable and at the same time make profit for the company. Ropate Valemei, FBC News.
We now join Savanada from HFC Bank with the latest from the world markets.
Vinaka Rachel. Looking at our economic calendar for today, the US dollar weakened by 12 points from yesterday. This was due to their core personal consumption expenditure figure, which fell from 1.6% to 1.5%. Coupled with their economic data is Trump's administration shakeup as he considers more staff changes. This came after Communications Director Mike Dubke resigned his job for no apparent reason after serving only 3 months. The high-risk platform of the US dollar is driving foreign investments to the safe haven currency of the Japanese yen. Japan has come out with figures showing strong industrial output at the fastest pace in almost 6 years, adding to growing signs of an improving economy. The Japanese yen opened 5 points stronger today against the Fijian dollar. That's the update from me, Vinaka Rachel.
Thanks, Savanada. Now let's take a look at today's exchange rates. The Fijian dollar strengthened against the Chinese yuan and the American dollar to close at 3.23 and 47 cents respectively. Closer to home, the Australian and New Zealand dollars weakened to close at 62 cents and 65 cents, while the PNG Kina rose to close at 132. As for the commodities market, a drop across the indexes. Oil prices closed at $49.66 a barrel. Gold closed at $1,262 an ounce, and silver closed at $17.38 an ounce. In Growing Fiji tonight, in a bid to improve services provided to schools and rural areas, the government signed 4 agreements today. These include the internet installment at Immaculate College in Bua, which will cost over $23,000 to be undertaken by Telecom Fiji. The project will benefit 225 students. The second project, which will cost $25,000, which includes the renovation and extension of Tadirwa Primary School. Other projects include the upgrading of water supply at Korokula village in Nandranga and the construction of a reservoir at a secondary school in Madhuwata. The projects are funded under government's small grant scheme.
Policies that no student should be disadvantaged, whether it's in a rural sector. So that's one of the reasons of his commitment to schools, that the students, which are our future, should not be disadvantaged.
And that's a wrap from the business desk this evening. Jamie joins you now with the latest in sports.
Thank you, Rachel, and good evening. In sports after the break, Flying Fijians go through first training run. And veteran defender eager for return to national squad. This and more coming up.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ. मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1. इट्स सो हॉट.
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे. मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट.
हाय, मैं संध्या नारिया रेफरी से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं. मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट. आई लव मिर्ची एफएम.
हमें स्पिन टोटो ताबुआ के मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे.
मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट.
The 2017 Vodafone Flying Fijians went through its first training run today ahead of its test match against the Wallabies next weekend. 23 players, including a number of overseas-based reps, are in camp, while a few more players will join later this week. Vasnil Prasad has more.
First meet after 6 months and straight into the business. The Vodafone Flying Fijians team looking forward to the big test against the Wallabies next Saturday.
And initially, we're spending our days in camp, getting our game plan together, getting our team combinations, and preparing ourselves for the important test match in Melbourne on June 10th.
An impressive outing with overseas-based players also joining for national duties. 45 cap veteran Veronica Ngoneva says he's happy to be back.
We know that we have a few big games coming up. We have a good test team we're going to play, and like I always said, always available for the Flying Fijian, and I really pleased and honored to be selected again for this summer tour.
It's a big week for the newcomers. One of them is Olympic gold medalist William Mata.
Not just only Mata, and I think some of our young players and talent players are around, and for me, I'm just looking forward for the big challenge for everyone.
Maki has been following the Wallabies very closely.
We know their team quite well. We've done a lot of analysis on them, and we know they're a good side, so we know we're going to have to be at our absolute best to be up for the challenge in that game. And I believe that yes, it'll be a very challenging match, but I think it can be a great opportunity for Fiji.
With more overseas players expected to join in, Maki will select 28 for the first test match in Melbourne. Vasnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
The Super Rugby side will not have the services of Captain John Stewart, Nico Matawalu and Alipate Matevelia when they play Naita Siri in the 5th round of the Skipper Cup competition on Saturday. The trio have joined the Flying Fijians camp to prepare for the June Test series. Meli Tavanga has more.
Super Rugby coach Sayasi Fuli says the team's preparation have not hindered in any way with the exclusion of 3 players.
We have senior players like Samon Bola there. Paulo Andrés Sincula's come back from sevens, and Alipate just to guide the team this weekend. I know it's a big game. Metasir is leading the points table with 16 points. We are at 14th.
With the return of Army forward and Fiji Sevens rep Paulandrani Sinukula, there is healthy competition among the forwards.
Especially our loose forwards are playing well every Saturday, and Paula coming in is just an extra edge to our side in terms of the forward pack.
Considered as one of the consistent forward, Rani Sinukula says this match is a must-win for the capital side.
At the decider game, and it's very important because all the teams wanted to be up at qualify for the semi-final.
The main focus of the capital side is to concentrate on how they can execute their plan to do well against the Highlanders and try and apply the same pressure so they can come out victorious. Meli Tawanga, FBC Sports.
Vodafone Fiji football coach Christophe Gamel says despite the last 2 weeks being hectic for his players with the Fiji Factor and the 2 matches against the Solomons, he is happy with the feedback he's receiving in camp. The national football team is preparing to take on New Caledonia at Churchill Park next week. Meli Tavanga reports.
The national football players are adapting to the coach's new structure.
They answered well to our plan, to my game plan. But most of all, they try to stay with consistency. Because don't forget, they have played a 5th game with the Fiji Factor in total, plus these 2 games, in 9 days, which is crazy, huh? To be honest. The positive way is that we still continue to develop.
With Suva football defender Epeli Leiroti in the team, Gamel says he needs to prove himself.
He is fitting well. He has some problem in transition. I mean, when he loses the ball, it's difficult to going fast to defend, like another player that I have, who is really talented, but he's not working enough. I told him, and if he's not working enough, he will go out.
Another inclusion was Samuel Kautanga, says he's happy to don the white jersey again.
I'm trying to get some fitness back. It was just after Fiji Fact, and then we had a break, so yeah, I'm trying to be back in fitness, to be the same fitness as the other boys have. Yeah.
Fiji plays New Caledonia at 4 p.m. next Wednesday at Churchill Park in Lautoka. Melitawanga, FBC Sports.
More than 60 local and overseas bowlers are competing in the Sunny West Carnival currently underway in Nandi. The week-long competition, which started on Thursday, is being played in the mixed fours and mixed pairs events. With a number of top international bowlers in the competition, organizers are very pleased with the exposure the local bowlers are receiving. Meanwhile, the mixed fours event was won by a local team led by Fiji rep David Aitchison.
A lot of overseas bowlers that have played top bowls in Australia and New Zealand, and they come here to compete in this. So obviously for our players, it's that added exposure playing against some top bowlers. So it's definitely beneficial for us.
The Fiji Amateur Boxing Association wants more women to take up the sport. President Manasa Mbarabilala says they are willing and capable of accommodating more women into the sport. He adds Fiji has qualified coaches who can train and mold anyone interested and willing to become professional boxers.
There's people out there that really want to compete and train. You know, we're just only too happy, you know, to take them on. We have the people. I mean, the coaches are here. If we had the women who, you know, that are willing to compete regularly and meet the criteria for selection, that's something I'm sure the coaches are happy to consider.
In today's Play of the Day action from the America's Cup competition, Team New Zealand may have got past Swedish side Artemis in Cup qualification this morning, but the result could have been much different after a horrendous nosedive from the Kiwis. That's it from sports tonight. Angie joins you later on with weather and the new media this evening. Russia comes under spotlight as it faces huge cybersecurity issues. Details after the break.
Bula, kerang mai singatoka, kerang do talita kana varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and domoy viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon mo tikola do talita kana Radio Fiji 1 kana domoy viti.
Kaya guado silil tale, nagurara may nawamani, nandunga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu pinasabale, nagudurong varorong na Radio Fiji 1 nandomoy viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 nandomoy viti na bonga ni BNN.
In new media tonight, amid the latest allegations of election hacking in the US, cybersecurity in Russia has never been under greater scrutiny. Russians, however, are also vulnerable to hacking, with the global WannaCry ransomware attack affecting businesses and governments. It's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. Wednesday brought rain. After so many good sunny spells, some of us experienced early morning showers, heavy in some areas. Looking at today in the west, well, if you happen to pass Batu Karasa, then the sight of mandarins all lined up along the highway must have been eye-catching in the sunshine. Eastwards, from Pekhawa to Suva, it was mostly sunny throughout with teensy-weensy bit of sunshine. There is more rain in store for tonight. And up in Banua Levu, it was a beautiful sunny day in Lambasa, but the hidden paradise had few showers. At sea, east to southeast winds 15 to 20 knots with moderate to rough seas. And for the tides, high tide tonight will be at 11:53 with a low tide at 5:54 tomorrow morning. Sunrise will be at 6:31. For tomorrow, it will be a carbon copy of today. Tomorrow's temps, Nadi and Lambasa will have highs of 31. And looking ahead to Friday, conditions are most likely to improve as we approach the much-awaited weekend. And that, Jakey, is FBC weather for tonight.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. On Fiji and Pulse today, we asked, should trains be introduced in Fiji?
It's a good idea and it creates, there will be less traffic on the road.
Yes, it will help the traffic in Fiji.
I don't think so because there's no space to put tram lines and train stations. Fiji is crowded at the moment.
In the world of the weird and the wonderful, scientists have figured out how mosquitoes fly. Those pesky mosquitoes not only do their bites itch, they can carry life-threatening diseases like malaria, Zika virus and yellow fever. Recapping the main stories, new school excites 200 students. PM briefed on New Zealand Navy vessel surveillance works. And Flying Fijians go through first training run. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question this week, we are asking, are certain politicians taking advantage of sugarcane farmers for their own gain? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, today's shot of the day was sent in by Amoy Lalauvaki, sunset at Cloudbreak in Tavaroa, Singatoka, limitless and immortal. The waters are the beginning and end of all things on earth. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, good night.
हमारा नाम संत कुमार है। हम रेडियो फीजी 2 सुनता है और ताबुआ में सबसे बेहाल रेडियो फीजी 2 है यार।
हम बिना विमलेश रकाविंदी ताबुआ से रेडियो फीजी 2 हमारा सबसे फेवरेट स्टेशन है।
हमारा नाम ब्रूस राव है, रेकेरेकी मार्केट वेंडा और रेडियो फीजी 2 देश के धड़कन 1954 से हम सुनता है।
हम कबूली ताबुआ रहता है। हमारा नाम है रमेश चंद और हमारी मछली के धंधा है और हम सब टाइम रेडियो फीजी 2 सुनता है।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।